Hi everyone, my name's Mia. We've got Charlie and we have Deborah, and we're going to be doing a yoga beginnings class, about 20 or 25 minutes. So this is perfect if you're a newbie to yoga. So the first thing we want to do is to modify sitting on something where preferably the knees are lower than the hips, because we want to be able to sit on top of the sitting bones and have a nice tall spine. So Deborah's going to go ahead and sit in a comfortable position. This is just a folded up blanket. You don't need anything really fancy. And then Charlie's going to show a modification. We've got 2 yoga blocks here. You could even sit in a chair or sit with even more than 2 yoga blocks, maybe even 3. He's going to back up into it. After he sits, his knees are going to be together. This way, the sitting bones and the pelvic bowl are resting on top of the block. And what this does is enable a nice tall spine. Again, you can raise the surface if you want. And Deborah's pretty flexible, so she's comfortable sitting on a blanket. And I'm going to go ahead and sit on one yoga block this way. I can back up it into the way that Charlie did, sitting on the sitting bones. Or I'm going to go ahead and choose to sit this way. Again, knees lower than the hips. Great. And if this is all too much, again, just sit in a chair. So the first thing we want to do in our yoga practice is connect to the breath. Really important to connect with the breath. This is a breath-centric posture practice, which means the breath will guide the posture. So we will always move and breathe together. Okay, breath, movement, BFF. Breathing and moving together. So we'll start with your left hand on your chest. I am mirroring you. Your right hand on your belly. Can everybody mirror? Great, thanks. So we're going to take a deep breath in and out of both hands. You're welcome to close your eyes if you'd like. Feel the hand on your chest and the hand on your belly rise and fall with your breath. Feel the body get heavier and relax every time you exhale. You're welcome to close your eyes or have a soft focus with your eyes gently closed. If you're able, we're going to practice Ujjayi breath. So you can keep your hands on your body. Ujjayi breath is a valving technique that's done in the throat. You're going to constrict the sound of your throat. It sounds like you're fogging a mirror, but this time the mouth will be closed. So we're going to go ahead and inhale. It sounds like this. And exhale. Continue with your Ujjayi breath. That means victory breath. So inhaling in and out of the nostrils, but feeling a closing, a constriction, or a valving at the throat. Go ahead and place your hands gently on your thighs. Keep practicing Ujjayi breathing. And allow this gentle humming, this kind of continuous breathing sound, guide the physical postures. The priority here is breath and movement. Okay, so go ahead and come off of whatever you're sitting on, and we can just go ahead and move that over to the side, wherever we are off the mat. We're going to start in a posture known as cat-cow. Sometimes we call this Chakravarkasana. So come to a tabletop pose. Wrists, elbows, and shoulders stacked, and you have your knees and your hips just about in line. So we want the spine to be neutral. We don't want too much of a back bend or too much of a curve. So remember, breath-centric postures. Take a deep breath in and out. Just stay here. Next time you inhale, bring the chest bone up to the wall in front of you. Gently squeeze the shoulder blades behind you. And then exhale, we're going to arch into what's called cat pose. The tailbone points down, bring the chin down, look towards the thighs, round the back. Inhale, you're going to bring your chest up to the wall in front of you. And then as you exhale, you're going to firm the low belly, the pelvic bowl tilts down, and you can look down to the ground in front of you so that the back of the neck is long. And continue. We'll do one more. So when you inhale, now if you want, you can traction your hands behind you, gently squeeze the tops of the shoulder blades. When you exhale, you're going to pull the low belly in and round the back like a cat. Great. So now we'll come back to what we call cow pose. Gently pull back on the hands, lead with the sternum up in front. When you exhale, you're going to move a little faster. Come into that cat pose. Keep the cat pose, sit on the heels into child's pose. So, and you're going to stay here, please. If this is uncomfortable for you, there's a couple variations. Deborah's widening her knees. Charlie has his knees more together. This is fine. If you'd like to have modification, if the tops of your feet hurt, you can either roll up a towel or a blanket and put that underneath your feet just like Deborah is, or just don't sit so far back on the heels. Okay, now we'll move in and out of cow into cat child's pose. So from child's pose, inhale, move the pelvic bowl and the core of the body up, and then you're going to bring your sternum up to the wall in front of you. Exhale, tone the low belly in, round the back, and sit back on the heels to any degree. And again, inhale, you're going to gently pull back on your hands. Traction, pull the chest forward, and then exhale, firm the low belly in, round the back, and sit back on the heels. And we'll do this one more time. So take a deep breath in, and you're going to bring your chest bone forward, maybe a little back bend behind the shoulder blades. And then as you exhale, you're going to firm that low belly in from the belly button to the pubic bone, round the back and sit back on the heels. And now we're going to move on. So one more time, please. Come to the hands and knees. Come forward, traction to pull the hands back a little bit. And now you're going to tuck the toes under and you're going to come back into down dog. So Deborah's going to straighten out her legs and Charlie's going to come to down dog with his knees bent. So there's a lot of variations here. Right now, the intention of this pose is to lengthen the spine. So if you're not as flexible as she is, don't worry about straightening the legs. Charlie is showing a great modification. The intention here is to lengthen the spine. Fingers spread wide, palms flat like pancakes. Press down with the palm out of all your fingers, especially the index finger. Keep breathing deeply. We're holding the pose here. So your intention is to have a long, straight spine. And now we're going to move forward into plank pose. So inhale, move the hips forward. Charlie's going to come down to his knees, do a modification, and Deborah's going to come right into plank pose. We have the shoulders, elbows, and wrists just about in line. So head down a little bit so the spine is straight. Great, and Charlie's on his knees. This is also wonderful. They're prioritizing the breath. So you're going to take another huge inhalation here. Feel the rib cage expand with your breath. As you exhale, pull the belly in. Please come back to downward facing dog. If you want to pause the video right now and add a couple more of those transitions on your own, that's great. So let's step the right foot forward and we'll come to a lunge. If you'd like, you can fold the back of your mat over, put a blanket or towel down. Let's put the left knee down for now. Great. So this is a variation you can do here. If you need to, you can always put blocks underneath your hands to any degree. Charlie's going to show you a modification here. So this as a lunge is great. So Deborah's going to tuck her back toe under, and when she exhales, she's going to come off of her back leg and come to a high lunge. Great. So she's pressing out through her heel, and her knee and ankle in here are just about in line. I would actually move this foot forward a little bit more so you're in line. Great. And Charlie's ankle and knee are in line here. And the biggest thing here to do is breathe. We don't need to be rock star and do a lot of hard poses in order to get a beautiful movement of energy through the breath merged with movement. Wonderful. Okay, so they're going to take a huge breath in and then exhale, hands back onto the mat, come back to downward facing dog. You're going to pull that belly in. Great. Take a resting breath in and out of down dog. Let's switch sides. Okay, step your opposite leg forward. Let's start out on the right knee with your left leg forward. So you'll have the ankle and knee in line in the front. Great, you can start out with your knee on the ground. Charlie's flipping over the back mat to show a variation. You can put even a towel or a blanket under there. He's got blocks in case your hands don't touch the ground. We have the safe alignment of knee over ankle. You can move your ankle forward a little bit if you want it. Great, and Deborah's going to show a variation. She's going to take a deep breath in, and then when she exhales, she's going to push her heel behind her and lift the back leg up. Beautiful. And the breathing is even getting deeper. So holding the poses, she's pressing out through her heel. Her breath is deep. The alignment in the front is safe. A couple deep breaths. With this ujjayi sound in the body, it becomes almost like a sonic meditation. There's a lot happening if you can make the smooth ujjayi breath continuous. Okay, on your next breath, you're going to press down with your front foot. When you exhale, pull the low belly in. Please come to a standing forward fold. You can have the legs straight here. If you need to, bend the knees. Your arms might not touch, but we're looking to make the spine long here. In fact, even if you don't need to, please bend the knees even a little bit, just so the spine gets some really nice traction. So we're going to inhale, put the hands on the shins, please. Look down, come up halfway. So the intention of this pose is to extend the spine. So you're going to look down a little bit. So this is what Deborah's doing is not wrong. It's common. What I'm asking for is more of an extension of the neck. So look down, please. Look down so the back of the neck is long, but straighten out your arms. Straighten out the arms towards the legs. Great. So that you're looking for a parallel motion here. Again, this intention is to elongate the whole spine. And then next time you exhale, you're going to firm the low belly in. Fold. Feel free to bend the knees. You're going to spread the arms wide here. Inhale, spread the arms. Come on up. Do a back bend just behind the shoulders, arms out to the side. And then arms up on top. And then exhale, you'll bring your hands back to the side. This is called Tadasana or mountain pose. So I like to practice with the feet hips distance apart. Beautiful. Please stay there, guys. Thanks. Second and third toe in line with the center of the knees, in line with the center of the hips. You want to think of your spine perpendicular to the ground, and the breath is continuing to get deeper and deeper. Feel your chest, your ribs, your belly, and your whole back body expand with your breath. Okay, we're going to move the arms overhead here. So next time you inhale, arms come up overhead. Big breath in. You're going to fold forward. Gently firm the belly in, bend the knees. Fold forward. You're going to come up halfway again. Hands on the shin. Look down, please. Back of the neck long. Come up halfway. Exhale. We're going to come back to that plank pose. So you can come back to the plank pose that Deborah's in with the knees off the ground, or Charlie's going to have his knees on the ground. Okay? So in this plank pose, if you feel your back start to sag and the belly muscles give in, just come down to the knees. So we're going to do something that looks like a push-up, except the intention here is to really firm that low belly and move with the breath. So let's please stay here. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Tone your belly. Bend the elbows. Bring the chest down all the way to the ground. If you need to bring your belly down first, that's fine. Let's come all the way down to the ground from now. So you're going to have the tops of the toes on the ground. We're going to come into a gentle back bend in the upper back. It's called Bhujangasana, or sometimes we call it Cobra pose. Hands wide by the ribs, armpits, elbows up. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades gently, lift the chest up, chin is slightly down. When you exhale, come down halfway. Inhale, pull back on the hands, bring the chest forward. The back bend's just in the upper part of the spine. When you exhale, firm that belly, come down all the way, forehead to the mat. Great. Again, inhale, pull your hands back, come up. You might want to pull the hands back and come up a little bit higher, shoulders down. And then when you exhale, you're going to come down halfway. Tone the belly, come down just halfway. Hands flat. And then when you inhale again, pull back on the hands, come up maybe a little bit higher. You can stay low if you want to. Good. And then we're going to come down all the way by firming the belly and coming all the way down. Okay, last round with this. Inhale, come up into either low cobra like Charlie, or you're going to come up a little higher like Deborah. And then when you exhale, you're going to come down halfway. Control this by exhaling, firming that low belly. Control it. And then inhale, come up a little bit higher. Charlie's going to straighten out his arms, but keep his feet and knees on the ground. And Deborah can even come up on top of her knees if we want. We call this up dog. So from here, we're going to come back into down dog, but please be mindful. So from here, what you're going to do is when you exhale, so Deborah, come on back to down dog, and Charlie, you're going to bend your knees. You're going to come back into down dog by firming that low belly. You can come through here like Charlie is and come back to the knees to down dog. You can come back in the way Deborah did, which is from here. Again, firming that belly, press down with the hands. There's a lot of ways to come back, and we're here. Again, Charlie's going to keep his knees bent to show a variation, and Deborah's going to keep her legs straight. Great. And deepen the breath. Okay, walk the feet to the hands as you inhale. Take a deep breath in, so no reason to get fancy. You can just bring your feet up. Hands on the shin. You're going to inhale, come up halfway and look down. And as you exhale, firm the belly, fold forward. Feel free to bend the knees as much as you need to. When you come up, hands are going to come out wide. Take a deep breath in. Squeeze just the upper shoulder blades together. Inhale, come on up. And then when you exhale, hands will be back to your side, pausing here in mountain pose. So there's a lot going on even in a still pose. Second and third toes in line with the center of the knees, in line with the center of the hips. Most importantly, check in with your breathing. Long, deep, slow breaths. This is a way of merging your physical body and your more subtle bodies, your energetic body, and even more. So what we just did was called Surya Namaskar A, or Sun Salute A. It's actually a more modern, like a 19th century, 18th century kind of practice. So it's modern in the scope of yoga, but it's something that's very popular. So I hope that learning Sun Salute A was very beneficial for you for your yoga career. Now we're going to take a deep breath in. Arms come up. We're going to work our way back to the ground by exhaling, forward fold. Tone the belly in. Bend the knees if you need to. One last time. Come up halfway. Look down. Make your spine super long. Stretch it that way. Exhale. Come either all the way down to the belly, or you can come to plank pose. You can come all the way down to the belly like Charlie is. If you're in plank pose, take an extra breath in, and then exhale, come all the way down to the belly. Okay, so from here, let's go ahead and roll over onto the back. Great. And go ahead and just lay flat on the back for a moment and see how you feel. Feel the weight of your body on the ground. Feel your back pressing into the ground as you continue to deepen your inhalation and exhalation. And you're going to bend the knees one at a time. Place each foot on the floor. You can bend your knees and maybe you can touch your heels. Maybe not. It's fine. So have your feet hips distance apart. Now when you inhale, press down with your feet and your hips are going to come up. Point your tailbone between the knees. And then when you exhale, tighten this low belly area, roll down, articulate each vertebra as you come down onto the low back. And again, we're going to come into bridge pose. Inhale, come on up. You go at your pace. Good. And then when you exhale, you're going to firm that low belly and come on down. This time, hands by your side, palms face down. When you inhale, here's an option. Lift your arms up and overhead as you inhale. Or you can just keep your arms down and then stay here. So we're looking for the pelvic bowl actually not to do too much of a back bend this way in this position. We're looking for it to actually kind of be at an angle. So your low back, your sacrum's actually coming this way. Your pubic bone and belly button are actually coming this way, and your belly muscles are more relaxed. Now Charlie's going to stay here, and Deborah's going to do the variation where she interlaces her fingers behind her back. So we can call this bridge pose, sometimes it's called Setu Bandhasana or Dvipada, taking deep breaths. You can stay here as long as you like, but for now, you're going to take a deep breath in. And when you exhale, firm that low belly, roll down. Charlie, you can bring your arms with you. Roll down each level of the spine. Come on down. Great. Let's just lay here for a moment and take a breath in and out. Please bring one knee and then the other knee in towards the chest. Apanasana. So have your hands on top of the knees. When you inhale, you're going to gently push the knees away from you, straighten out your arms. And then when you exhale, gently firm the belly and then bring the knees in towards the chest, thighs towards that belly. When you inhale, go ahead and push the knees away from you. And continue. This is a nice pose to relieve any stress in the low back, also to calm down the nervous system as we start to wind down from our beginner's practice. Continue deepening the breath. Take any opportunity to soften here that you'd like. The poses don't have to look a certain way. They should be safe, but it really is your practice. And what we're looking for here is a connection between your breath and you moving the body. The poses are just an access point, a suggestion to merge breath and movement for you. Great. So next time you exhale, go ahead and have the hands out to the side. You can have them in a letter T formation. Palms face up or down. If this is not accessible, just have your hands any way you can. With the knees in the chest, take another deep breath in. And then when you exhale, let's drop the knees to the right. You're going to firm that low belly in. When you inhale again, please bring the knees back to center. You're going to come onto the back. And when you exhale, firm the low belly gently and twist over towards the left. And continue a couple more times. Inhaling, coming back to center. And again, moving with your breath pace. Go ahead and continue twisting side to side. If this is not good for your low back, just please stop. You can come back to this posture if your low back is compromised in any way twisting. Great, so when you've done, we'll call this the last time on your other side. Next time knees are to the center, go ahead and give them a gentle hug. Very gentle. And now straighten out one leg along the ground. And the other leg on the ground. Last thing, bring your arms overhead. If it's difficult to bring the back of your hands on the ground, you're welcome to make this goalpost shape or just have your hands out to the side. Otherwise, point and flex your feet with the back of the hands on the ground behind you. Great. And then pull your toes back. Flex your feet. Extend your right heel away from the right fingertips. Get long on the right side. And then you're going to get long on the left side. Point your left fingertips away, your left heel away from you. And go ahead and continue. So you're keeping your leg on the ground. And Deborah, try with the legs closer together. Great, thanks. So we're extending the left and the right sides of the body long. When you feel even, we're going to rest in Shavasana, corpse pose. So go ahead and bring your hands by the side. Palms can face up or down. Feet about hips distance apart or more. We're looking for the chest to be open, little space between the upper arms and the side of the body. Close your eyes or have them softly open. Release Ujjayi breath or any breathing technique you're using. Deepen your breath. Feel more breath coming through the nostrils. Feel your chest expand as you deepen the breath. Your breath is the bridge between this deeper state of relaxation and the waking world. So take your time to breathe in deeper. And when you feel ready, you can reach your arms overhead. Take a deep breath and moving the body slowly. Feel free to wiggle the fingers and the toes. If that's not accessible, you can bring your arms out to the side, but start to move those hands and feet, ankles and wrists. Eventually, you'll hug one knee into the chest and then the other. And let's roll over to either side, and you're going to stay in fetal position or embryo position for a few breaths. You can use your bottom arm as a pillow if you'd like. Just please keep deepening the breath. And when you're ready, you can slowly press yourself up to a seated position using your hands on the floor. You're welcome to either sit on the yoga blocks again or maybe a blanket. Otherwise, if you feel comfortable, if your knees and hips happen to be in line on the floor, you're welcome to sit here. Let's bring our hands to the heart. Take a deep breath in and out. Great, thank you for practicing yoga beginnings with us.